How will school systems be transformed post-COVID-19? Hello everybody! In this new section I will present you the new ideas with which many governments plan to transform the educational system after the pandemic. I sincerely believe that we should all be aware of the information so important. Stay with me and discover what prepares the future of the education. As our education goes in the right direction today, the truth is that a highly alarming problem is emerging, and is educational inequality. The rich have more opportunities to access a better education, to have more study tools, among others, while the poor don't support the expense of basic secondary education. Most of them don't even eat 3 times a day. So you can imagine how hard it has been for all these children, youth and adolescents to access an electronic device and get an internet connection frequently to meet the virtual classes. To give you a better idea of the seriousness of the issue, a pre-pandemic analysis estimates that 90% of children in low-income countries, 50% of children in middle-income countries, and 30% of children in high-income countries fail to master the basic secondary level skills needed to thrive in work and life. On the other hand, it found that less than 25% of low-income countries were providing some form of distance learning, while about 90% of high-income countries were doing so. In addition to differences between countries in access to remote learning, differences within countries are also striking. For example, during the COVID-19 school closures, 1 in 10 of the poorest children in the United States had little or no access to technology for learning. This and much more is just a small sample of the great inequality that is present almost always. But fortunately now, with so many plans for the future evolution of the whole world, there are many ideas to reform a new educational model. Although this vision is aspirational, it is by no means impractical, and to achieve it, were proposed the following 5 actions to transform educational systems, focusing on early childhood education through secondary school to better serve all children and youth, especially the most disadvantaged. 1. Incentive public schools and place them at the center of educational systems. As everyone knows, the role of free institutions is highly important in society. Therefore, all the opportunities presented to both children and young people could be a long-term benefit that would allow society to have people with a common set of values and knowledge. While some private schools may perform a good for society only in minimal amounts, public education is the main conduit for doing so on a large scale, and therefore should be at the center of any effort. Finally, from now on, investment in public education centers will first be mentioned at the negotiating tables of any country. 2. Build a teaching system based on active communication. In these times of isolation, many sectors understood how important it was to be communicated, and education is no exception. For the dates nearing the defeat of the COVID, it is planned to focus all efforts on improving interactions between educators, students, and educational materials to enhance student learning. The idea is that teachers will provide academic and emotional support to all students regardless of their socioeconomic status. Each teacher will have to devise some kind of strategy to be the companion for the learning journey of the students. Many suggest that if this communication construction is continued over the long term, we could see much improved schools, as well as greater involvement of students, educators, and parents in new ways of using technology. If you believe that this video is interesting, don't forget to give the like and subscribe for more content. 3. Implement educational technologies that are adapted to many more students. After COVID-19, one thing is certain. School systems that are better prepared to use educational technology effectively will be better positioned to continue to offer quality education in the face of school closures. And like now, where thousands of students were unable to access education due to the lack of resources or electronic equipment, in the future all public education institutions must provide more ways to bring learning to each and every student. For example, the learning could take place in the following ways: high-quality pre-recorded lessons teaching, computer classes or lab tutorials, tangible materials such as photocopies, books, primers, and many others, and student participation through, for example, videos and games. Although we are not sure how many learning options schools will provide, we can be sure that every child will be educated. 4. Forge stronger and more trusting relationship between parents and teachers. It is extremely important that both parents and teachers maintain a good relationship in the future, because through peaceful and respectful communication, it is much easier to communicate teachings and strategies that can be very useful in each student's learning time. In a few words, the essential to support the new educational model will be the participation of parents in relation to teachers. And although on many occasions they themselves have expressed not wanting to become their children's teachers, according to several large-scale surveys, they are demanding to be involved in a different and more active way in the future. Therefore, one of the most important objectives will be to challenge the mentality of those in the education sector who think that parents and families with the least resources and economic opportunities are not able or are not willing to help their children learn. 5. Implement improvements in the evaluations, corrections, and strengthening of schools in the future. With the arrival of many changes in the educational systems for obvious reasons, new ways will have to be implemented to understand the impact of all the processes and strategies that will be implemented and whether they are working or not. In the same way, traditional research methods should be complemented with real-time documentation, reflection, rapid feedback loops, and course corrections. We could say that this is the most complex and challenging part of adapting the new learning strategy. However, it will be effectively possible with willingness and ability to act on the part of all teachers, students, and parents. As you can see, governments are looking for more ways to prepare for an uncertain future. We will hope that this idea of reinforcing free education and protecting the most vulnerable will become a reality. We have reached the end of this video. Hope you like it. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe and activate the campaign to be aware of all our new content.